Hey, Chris, can you just talk about, this week? It's the biggest week of the year for the UFC, being a part of it. How does it feel different? I know they let the pomp and circumstance surrounding it.
I fought here my first fight for the title against Anderson, and the first one definitely threw me off on how big everything was going on. I remember coming up for my press conference right before the fight and realizing, holy, I got myself into something here. This is no joke. I was really nervous. And then now I'm becoming more comfortable with it, and it's just kind of it's good that I had the experience of doing this once before.
As you've watched tape on Lyoto, is there one particular guy that you think really was able to solve Lyoto, that had the best blueprint? Because he's been such a stylistic difficulty for people. Is there one guy that you've really looked at that, man, this guy really prepared well?
No, because I think Lyoto always is going to adapt and change. And I think every matchup is different. So I don't look at one fighter and think, okay, that's what I'm going to do. Because Lyoto, if he had lost from it, he's going to change whatever he lost from. So I honestly don't watch that much tape. I've watched about 3 of his fights, and only 3, one time each. I'm more worried about I'm more worried about what I'm doing out there than what he's going to be doing.
I know you're not a smack talker, but I was surprised to see Ray. He's got a weak chin and all this. Is he just trying to get in his head?
I'm not surprised that Ray said that. He said he's very confident in me, Longo, he wears his heart on his sleeve. If he says that, that's what he believes, and I'm not changing his mind. And I can't go out there thinking he has a weak chin. And if I'm going to hit him, and he's still standing there, then I'm in trouble. So. And Longo, he says that, but we're taking Lyoto very, very, very seriously.
What is the key? When he first came in, his style seemed much more difficult to guys than it does now. And I mean, not that he's still not a top-level guy, but guys seem to have figured that karate style out a little bit more. Like, what do you think has been the key of figuring that out, and what have guys done that's been successful?
I think, pressure busts pipes. So you put pressure on somebody that's trying to get away from you. Eventually, you catch up and you hunt them down and figure them out.
Chris, you've been very vocal leading up to this fight about drug testing and things like that when you were supposed to, fight Vitor. Some big stuff happened recently with Chael. This card has been decimated due to what happened with Vanderlei, Chael, Vitor. Are you happy? Are you happy with what's happening? Do you think enough is being done, or do you think more should be done?
I feel like hopefully it's just the beginning of what's going to be going on. I feel terrible. Chael came out with his first statement. He got me. I'm on his side. I think I completely understand where he's coming from. Vitor and Vanderlei, I wasn't on their side. I'm like, they're obviously doing something. And Vitor got tested. He was way over on the TRT levels. But Chael, I felt bad for. Then those second tests came out, and I'm just like, I still love Chael to death. But it just kind of opens up your eyes what some guys could be doing. And it pissed me off. So I want guys to be checked as much as possible, blood tests or whatever could be done. I want done.
Vitor says that he's been told he's going to fight you next, or the winner of this fight next. Are you open to that? Would you want some very strict drug testing, the same kind of random testing leading up to the fight if you fight him?
It's hard for me to even think about Vitor at this point. But if I'm fighting Vitor, he's going to be tested. He's been caught twice now. His level, I looked last time I seen him, I saw like on the back right by his shorts, there was like a little tail hanging down. He was becoming like a horse. He's got so much testosterone on him. I guess that wasn't funny. But I just think he needs to be tested as much as possible. He's been known to fail tests.
Will you ask him that?
Yeah, probably. I can't even. I'm not even thinking at that point. But
you guys randomly tested this fight?
I haven't. Have I been tested? No. But I know what they do. What they do differently now, which I like, is that when I did my pre-testing, my blood testing, usually it's like hepatitis, AIDS, and all that stuff. But now they ask for a human blood count or hematocrit. I don't know. Maybe it's HB. I don't know what it stands for. But it's basically they know how many red blood cells and stuff you have. So if you're taking like the EPO and stuff like that, they can find out. So that's good to see. I think that's why they do it. So.
Would you stick around for Eddie's fight on Sunday?
Yeah, I'll be around for. No.
What's the vibe like having him fighting for the contract? You fighting for obviously you're the champion, but you can kind of show him the ropes, the UFC experience and whatnot. And for your coaches, they have 2 guys fighting a very unique thing back to back. What's the vibe like with the team now?
We got. I think we're on a good roll as a team. Have Eddie doing great in the house, and this is his big debut. He's been working hard for a long time, and it's his time, to shine. And then again, I'm fighting for the title, and it's a big deal for me too. So everybody who's been working hard in the room, it's good when you have guys in the room that are working towards the same goal.
Did you get
the drum on the drug testing thing? But do you think if the UFC did more of what they did to Chael, they cut ties with them, Fox, that it would eliminate it where guys know that there's going to be a severe penalty if they get caught?
I don't want to go on Chael too much because, first of all, he's the only guy that had anything like he had, the Fox thing and stuff like that.
Caught, right?
No, the only guy that had, Fox thing, commentating thing and all that stuff. Vanderlei and Vitor didn't really have anything like that. But, I mean, whatever the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they have to, penalize these guys, I guess, as much as possible to get these people scared about, getting caught. I just think, if you want to be a role model and all that stuff, you want to be able to talk to kids without kind of feeling, like you're BSing. You can't be getting caught taking drugs. I mean, it's kind of doesn't go hand to hand with, being a good role model. So I just personally wouldn't think it's worth it just for that reason alone. I don't know.
BJ Penn was just saying that, even though he was outspoken against steroids throughout his career, people came up to him and said, hey, we can make you do this, we can make you do that. Have you had that too, where you met somebody and they tried to get you on something that would make you perform better?
No one ever. I've heard stories like that too. I've heard people go to certain gyms and it's like, this is what people do here and you have to do it. I've never been approached with this is what you should be doing. It's crazy though. I feel great, man. I'm the UFC champion. I defended my belt, and I'm not on anything. So for all the people out there that feel like you have to take something, I feel like, look at me. I'm doing it. I'm not taking a thing. So I don't think you need it. Just get off that stuff.
One last question on that. Are you angry from the standpoint that you, as well as everybody else in this room, is under a little bit of question because now that guys have tested positive saying, oh, UFC fighters are just dopers and they're taking, they're juiced out of their minds, so that you get grouped in with those guys, right?
Yeah, but they can look at my chest and look and know that I'm not on anything. Yeah, that's a pretty dead giveaway.
Cool.
Did you get to see Volante's fight last week and his performance against Sean O'Connell?
Yep. I set my my alarm clock for 2:30 a.m. Woke up and watched it. Yep.
How'd you think he looked?
For him, man, he needed that. He needed to get over the hump. He's been doing. Every time he fights, he was traveling. He had to go to New Zealand, and then the last one before that was Brazil. And the one in Brazil, he had bad very bad bronchitis that he had to fight through, and he obviously gassed out. And you don't want to make excuses. So I'm happy that he went out there and showed that he could go 3 rounds and put on a fight at night and got a big W over. That guy was tougher than, I think a lot of people thought.
They showed you guys sparring on the Countdown show, and you were sparring without headgear. Is that regular for you?
This is actually the first training camp that I did wear headgear. I wore headgear more often, but yeah, but for that video, I didn't have good headgear, so it kept falling off. So I just ripped it off and threw it over the cage. I can't stand wearing headgear, but I finally found a good headgear that works, and yeah.
You have a 0. She is a 0. You beat a guy who hadn't lost in the UFC. There are people actually, specifically to Rousey, if you can answer, that says if she would lose, it actually would be better for business. That if you have a champion who goes down and she has something to fight for back, but that kind of seems twisted. Isn't it better to have kind of a dominant person and that mystery of the 0 by the record?
If we're talking about Ronda?
Yeah, I mean.
No, I think you got to keep. Yeah, no, I think you got to keep winning, and people are going to want to see you.